Zajef77 and Paimon. Hello, hello. Katheryne playable in 6.0. I mean, let's be honest. Katheryne is just an extension of Marionette. Right? Let's be honest with ourselves. So technically, Katheryne playable is kinda true if Marionette ends up playable. No? Like, kinda. In a way. Beaster made a tier list about who's getting buffed from the reaction buffs. Are you making one too? I can, like, very quickly go through characters that get affected by it if you want. I don't mind. Big buff. Small buff. No change. Okay, and if we're being, like, completely honest here, this isn't actually here, this isn't actually here, this isn't actually here. It's pretty much only these characters. So here's the main, like, crux of it. Okay. There is not a single team in which any of the transformative reactions that are actually getting buffed are already a good amount of damage. In all of those current teams, Overload or Electric, like, it's just a nice little portion of your team DPS. The teams where those reactions are the biggest portion of damage are generally Electrocharge and Overload teams, but Electrocharge and Overload teams are the ones that are getting the smallest buffs in terms of, like, number difference. What are we strongboxing? Okay, let's actually go through everything we could strongbox. We could strongbox Glad to try to get an Arlecchino upgrade. The biggest issue is that it's going to be really hard to get an upgrade. I could realistically get an upgrade on Flower or Feather, but it needs to be perfect. I already have like 7 or 8 rollers on both of them, so it pretty much needs to be a 9 roller to be an upgrade. More realistically, I could get an upgrade on an attack sans, but it needs to be double crit, and that's... I don't really want to minus 300 artifacts just to get nothing. It's too unlikely that I'll get an upgrade on Circlet or Goblet, and it's also pretty unlikely in Flower and Feather, so it's most likely going to be Sans, but like, Wanderer's Troop wouldn't be good. Bloodstained wouldn't be good. Noblesse would actually be a good choice as well. Specifically, I would like to get an ER Sans with Noblesse that has crit rate and that rolls into crit. Or just Noblesse artifacts with good stats for my Singto. Noblesse would be pretty reasonable. TF is very unreasonable. TF is the set on which I have the best artifacts already. So the odds that I get an upgrade on anything are incredibly low. So it's a bad idea. But I still kind of want to do it. Thundersoother would be bad. VV would actually be a good idea. Although I already have good stuff. One thing I don't have is a good Circlet if I want to put VV on Chaska, if I end up going for Chaska. I don't have a good Circlet for her. So VV could be good. Good one. Good one. Good one. Good one. Good one. Blizzard Strayer... I already have some really good Blizzard Strayer, and maybe more importantly, I don't have anyone to use Blizzard Strayer on, so no thank you. A good one. TOM. I've seen a lot of people say TOM for Raiden. Here's the thing, okay? I already have EM main stats on TOM for Raiden if I want to play EM TOM Raiden. I already have them, so I don't need to strongbox for them. DPS TOM, I don't want to get because I'm not going to play Rational. Rational is cringe and boring. Hellflame is a no. Shiminawa's is unironically not that bad of an idea. I could try to get a good Shiminawa's set for Yuemiya. She's been on 2-piece for a long time. this wouldn't be that bad. But there's no fucking shot I'm strongboxing for my Yoimiya. No, thank you. Emblem is probably the best idea for me. I should probably do Emblem. Emblem is good. Emblem is Pog. And my Emblem leaves something to be desired. Like, for my Emblem, I have a really good Feather and that's it. Husk, I don't really care for. I could get an upgrade for my Albedo relatively easily on Husk, but I just don't really care. No. Vermilion could be funny, but no. Really? I thought yours would be perfect? No. Not at all. No. Deepwood could be interesting, but meh. Gilded Dreams, not happening. What the fuck? Flop could be interesting. The main thing is that for Flop, I don't need anything other than Flowers and Feathers. Like, if I were to strongbox for Flop, I would exclusively be looking for Flower and Feather 4-liners with EM. If it's a 3-liner, it won't be an upgrade, even if it only rolls into EM. The only way I get an upgrade is if it's a 4-liner that only rolls into EM. So it's like a 1 in 1,000 that an EM 4-liner becomes an upgrade. A 4-liner is... An EM 4-liner out of a flower is probably like, what, 1 in 8, maybe? And then a flower is 1 in 5. So it's about... I would need to strongbox about fucking 40,000 times to get an upgrade. And thinking about it that way, that's probably not a good idea. Probably not a good idea. Probably not a good idea. This doesn't really do anything. Neither does this. And finally, we have Golden Troop and Marital Say. I don't really need Golden Troop. My Golden Troop is actually pretty good. I don't really need an upgrade to it. My Marital Say leaves a bit to be desired on Flowers and Feathers. It's honestly not that unlikely that I get an upgrade. So it's probably what I should do. It's between Marital Say and Emblem. For what is like the optimal thing I should do right now. Nick's career trajectory would have been very different if it hadn't been for me. And I know he's okay with me watching his clips. And I pretty much made him, so I'm okay with it. You made him, how so? I mean, I say that like 80% as a joke, but because like I know that Nick is an entertaining streamer, and like people would watch him even if it wasn't for the guides. But growing as a streamer is very difficult, and the reason why his channel got attention is because of the guides, and the reason why his guides did well is because they were good guides that I helped him with a lot at the start. Like, even if he stopped doing guides, people would still watch his streams just as much. But if he had never done guides, he wouldn't have as many people watching his streams. Harbinger of Dawn incident, true. And he would never have capitalized on the hole in the market that was reliable guides for casual players if it wasn't for me. Because he would have just fucking kept spouting bullshit. And like, don't get me wrong, I've spouted bullshit as well, but I really do think like his career trajectory would have been very, very different if I hadn't been there. How did you come to help him make guides? Was it because you were already friends? Yeah, he wanted to make a Dilute guide, and I was a math major back in the days where nothing was like properly known, right? Like back in the days where it wasn't even common knowledge yet that your circlet should be crit. Obviously, the people in interior crafting communities already knew, but the community at large was very unaware of stuff like that. Who started Genshin first? He did. What made you play Genshin? Nick told me you should play this game, and I was like, I guess. To be fair, I follow/watch your stream because I discovered you through Zajef. Yeah, it was definitely a mutually beneficial relationship. Anyways, let's talk about Ororon. Bro, this... It is so weird seeing a character with descriptions this short in 2024. It's so weird. But yeah, so his skill deals 300 damage, and his burst deals 300 damage with some damage over time. And it has like a fucking 7-hit ICD or some weird ass shit. 7-hit, 8 seconds, special ICD, and then this basically just says his skill deals additional damage over time, and if you trigger electrocharge, it deals even more. And then this says that you regenerate energy to your team when you trigger electrocharge. That's pretty much what he does. Numbers big or small? Numbers pretty small. The brunt of his damage is coming from his A1. But C1 significantly increases A1 damage. C2 gives him a nice amount of electro damage. C4 makes his burst spin faster. And C6 gives him more damage on his A1 and an attack percent buff to the team. He's a character of all time, honestly. I don't even know what to say about him. Like, ugh.